What is up, everybody, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
A long-running comic book review show here on YouTube that you can check out every Monday live on Monday nights around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM, of course, because who would watch a live comic book review show at 6:30 in the morning? I'll tell you who, like a third of you, which is not enough.
Like go-getters.
That's right. Yeah, folks who have things to do, but free time between getting up and doing it.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
If you do, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I were you.
There was a small group of people who would watch when I did like that morning show, which wasn't live, but it was a show that went out at like 5:30 in the morning. Eastern, of course. It came out at like 3:30 in the morning for you West Coasters. Speaking of which, of course, if you are a West Coaster and you're going to San Diego Comic-Con in 2 weeks, I got news for you. Only I am going. Tiffany isn't going. No, but I will be going. So if you see me there, say hello. We'll get a selfie. It'll be great. But more importantly, on Thursday, around 5 p.m.
Yes.
Western Standard Time.
Yes, indeed.
At the library. I don't remember what it's called. I'll have more finite details available, and I'll probably make a short on this and the other channel to let you know. But yeah, we're going to do a live panel with Joshua Williamson and perhaps, I've got it confirmed, so it better be, a special guest coming. It's not really, I'm not going to put them on the spot. There will possibly be a special guest.
There could be a guest.
They said that they would be down, though I know that
they are busy.
They are busy, and in fact, Josh and they are attending like a DC dinner immediately following our panel. So, we'll see how it works out, but I'm excited for that. So hopefully you'll join us live and in person, because it would look good for me if all of you came. So definitely consider it. If you're going to be in San Diego for Comic-Con, definitely go to this event. It's going to be great. It's going to be a really fun happening. We're going to do Q&A. We're going to tell stories. It's just going to be a live version of the podcast. In fact, I think in the listing, it'll be called All Stars Podcast Live. So it's just the podcast. But listen, it's a great podcast. You do enjoy it. There's going to be a new episode before Comic-Con comes out. Josh and I are going to sit down and do that probably next week. So it'll be right down to the wire for me, but I'm very excited to have that chat and to have you check it out before to whet your appetite a bit. Whet it for the in-person event. I mean, listen, it's a pretty exciting thing. You know, some folk last year waited in line for a long time to get Josh to sign something. If you want to meet Joshua Williamson, or at the very least see him in action, go to the upcoming All-Stars Live show at San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday at 5 p.m. It's either 5 or 5:30. Either way. I believe Comic-Con is the 26th of July, so go check it out.
It's around those days.
It's around those days, but it's that Thursday. It's the Thursday of Comic-Con. First official day of Comic-Con. That night, when you guys are all like, whoo, what a crazy day I just had at Comic-Con, because I know I am every time I go, which has been the past 3 years now.
Yes.
It'll be 4 now? I'm not sure. I went once with Benny without you. Yep. Once with you.
Mm-hmm. And then once with me again.
And then once with you again. Okay, great. Yeah, so this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so check that out. This is all in the place of the news segment. I don't have like any big discussions.
That is big news. Also, Terminator is coming out.
Yeah, that's my other thing. Yeah, maybe. The other news, more or less, is that like Dynamite is in trouble, according to the trades. Dynamite is owed $1 million, according to Bleeding Cool and other sources. Some folks said $500,000. I've seen reports of $1 million by Diamond. I heard that this is just allegedly. Let's put it that way, because I don't have a specific source, but because I couldn't find it off the top of my head. But allegedly, the way that Diamond is settling the debts of the previous administration is that they are selling all their inventory, which means if you had books that were like supposed to go to shops, guess what? It was sold to someone else. And so they just sold all their stock and, have to pay the biggest people that they owed first. And if that's the government, they get paid the first. But yeah, it's very scary and sad for everyone. Like, it affects everyone. The Diamond, this is why we have laws against monopolies.
Right.
Is because it's not just like, oh, it's not fair. It's also disruptive. And when they fail, then they affect other businesses that are dependent on that business. So comic shops aren't going to get their books. Publishers aren't going to get their books out. Publishers aren't getting paid. So it's just messed up that the U.S. government allowed that to happen. And of course it did, because Diamond didn't represent a large enough financial stake. It wasn't, again, as I've said many times, and I think it's worth repeating because people forget, is that the comic book industry collectively makes about approximately $1 billion a year, which, that's how much, movie studios spend on a franchise movie at this point. I mean, it's just,
yeah,
it's not a lot of money. We're talking peanuts. I know $1 billion would be great. And,
yeah, it sounds like a lot until you think of
to you or to me or
Yes.
to like your indie publishing label, but like to everyone else, woof. Yeah. So theoretically, the Terminator Volume 1 Out of Time, the hardcover is coming out in July. I've seen it also listed for August on Amazon. Who knows? I think that since the hardcover was supposed to come out in the next 2 weeks, I think it's supposed to come out the week of Comic-Con, like the 23rd or something. If the hardcover is supposed to come out next week, more or less, or in 2 weeks, I should say, then there's more than likely a chance that exists, though I have never received a copy. If that does exist,
may not have a copy to give.
there may not be any copies, but there should be a trade in October, which means that you'll probably never see that. I mean, who knows? Maybe you will. I would love to. I'd be the first one in line, and I'd have to be because I haven't received it. But yeah, I'm very excited to see it. And if it is there, you'll see it on the show. Like,
Yes.
And I'll try to do like a giveaway or something. I would love to promote and support Dynamite, because Dynamite needs it desperately at this point. And they were kind enough to reach out to me and give me an opportunity when, no one else would, to allow me to do, to put my little stamp on a franchise that means everything to me. And I appreciate that deeply. So I'm hoping to pay it forward in some way. But it'd be nice to see. Over on the Dynamite website, you can actually find it. Maybe it'll be, maybe you could buy it there. I don't know. I could see it on Amazon. But my name is in the description of it on their website.
Yay!
So that's nice.
I think
That's
it's
pretty cool.
amazing.
I appreciate it. I'm very excited about it. Well, I would be more if I was like,
For sure,
if
it
I
was
was
happening.
certain it was coming
Okay,
out.
so I'm still excited.
Yeah, I would love to do another signing. Like,
I live
that'd be
live in a
cool.
world of complete excitement for this.
And I share in that world with you. So
So
thank you. But yeah, Terminator.
hooray!
Woo!
Woo! Woo!
If you so by the way, if you're interested in buying the book, if you want to get it, I would get the hardcover.
Just in case. I don't know.
I would, just in case. But yeah, so this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by using Superchats. Ask a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show. Be part of the show forever, and we will do that in this order. We do the news, we do the comics, we do the book of the week, we do the Superchats, and then we recommend books that are coming out this week that we think you should check out.
Heck yeah.
So
And to anyone who has already submitted a super chat, thank you so much.
we do appreciate it, and we will
Yes.
get to you, I promise. There'll be a
It's
whole
happening.
section to that.
It's happening.
It is happening. So yeah, before we get to the big stuff, let's talk about some fun stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just talk about this Green Lantern book that Tiffany read.
Okay.
Absolute Green Lantern, number 4.
Yeah, written by
came
Al
out.
Ewing with art by Janoy Lindsay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like this is the book most people are like,
there's an Absolute Green Lantern.
literally.
It's not making the same kind of waves. Absolute Martian Manhunter is second only to Ultimates in everyone's feeling. Absolute Batman obviously is Batman. That's a guarantee. Even Absolute Superman is a controversial book, which I will say out loud, I dropped from my pull list. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done with Absolute Superman. Not that I hate it. Not that I think it's bad. That's the problem. It's middling.
Ooh.
It's a
For
good
you.
Yeah. It's a good looking book.
Mm-hmm.
It is well written.
Yeah. Okay.
And everything that doesn't feature Superman is really interesting and great. All the Krypton stuff is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how many issues I can buy of Superman being mad and Lois wanting to know what's going on.
Well, maybe.
What
What
if
if
has
this
it been?
next issue?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, that's fair. So I think out of all of the Absolute books, this is the one
This is the underdog.
This is the underdog for sure. And I find it to be just kind of fun. Like it's a book that I'm always thinking about. Am I going to be reading this? And then I read it and I'm just like, okay, where are we going with this?
Yeah, because there's a lot of ideas and concepts being introduced in this book. We're only at issue 4, and we've killed Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
We made Hal Jordan the Black Hand. Abin Sur is still alive, and he's the big threat.
Yeah.
We also, of course, have Jo in there.
Yep.
And she's the Green Lantern.
Yep.
We have to introduce the whole concept of Green Lanterns, how this fits in the Absolute Universe. Was it you who suggested that every universe in Absolute or that every you thought that every book took place in its own universe in the Absolute Universe?
I legitimately somehow got that in my head that's how it was going.
Yeah.
So Dark-Sided energy had made a bunch of places.
Right.
No, that's just not what it is. And there's really no reason for my brain to have made that was a leap in logic.
It was. But
I admit that was a total leap in logic. My brain was like, yeah. No. We might have talked about it, and my brain just was throw that piece of information away.
Yeah.
I want this more.
Yes.
I want to have fun with this.
Yes, exactly.
Because I'm like, how else would this work?
Well, it's just they haven't crossed over. They have barely, if ever, referenced each other. And
are you saying this because you know this book references?
No, I had no idea.
This book references something else.
I'm glad it teed you up. Continue to because I think it's been deliberate. I think at least the Trinity has been don't. Stay in your lane, be your own thing, build your own audience, because unlike theoretically, allegedly, the Ultimate Universe, this universe is here to stay.
Yeah. It's in my head, I thought it was a bunch of I don't know.
Yeah.
Copies over itself, and then they were just going to be smoosh.
Yeah, there was going to be an event that would actually be a fun reveal if they were able to pull it off, is that oh no, these are all their own universes, and then one day, there'll be an event that crosses them all over, and then they'll be like, oh my god, we all live in the same universe. This is insane. How is that going to work?
Yeah, well, we'll have to make it work.
It's no, it does work already.
So this, I think for a lot of people, the issue here is the anime vibe to it. Yeah, some people are people who like anime are this isn't enough.
Mm-hmm. They're not far enough,
right? And people who don't are okay, this just looks like Dragon Ball Z. And it's I understand where you're coming from if you have that thought. I will say it is nothing like Dragon Ball Z.
No.
Most people are just talking to each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talking. Mm-hmm. And we're not just next time.
You mean in this book?
In this book, yeah. Yes. It's not they're at the end of it, they're next time.
Yeah, next time in Absolute Green Lantern, something might happen.
Yeah, Majin Buu. Oh, I did it again. Abin Sur, we just keep powering up, and I'm no, it's just.
Is that what he's been doing though? Has he been
No, he just stands there a lot, and you can't really. But what I like about that is that we, the reader, are what.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Are you good? Are you bad? Yeah. Are you neutral? What is happening here?
Sure.
Is your neutralness actually the biggest problem here? And we've been getting a lot of Jo and Hal play, in which we see Hal with the Black Hand. Mm-hmm. And kind of the aftermath of that and their interactions there where Jo has power, he has power. Obviously Hal is you got to get out of here. I can't stop this thing. And
right.
She's well, maybe we can together. I don't know. Then we kind of flash back to it's John is gone, but they know that the yellow or the gold works. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's something we can do about that. Yeah. She and I don't know who this gentleman is. It doesn't necessarily Todd.
Okay.
It's Todd. And Jo and Hal, prior to Hal getting the Black Hand, are in a diner, and they kind of have this moment of being there used to be 3,000 people here, and everyone's gone.
Oh,
so we got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's kind of a what else are we gonna do? Well, they're gonna make a stand here, or we're not.
Yeah.
Or we're just
we will not be standing anymore.
Very much that. So Hal has a firearm, and the plan is Jo will distract Abin Sur, and they will shoot him. End of story.
Sure, yeah.
They have a gold bullet that they popped in there. I don't know if it's made out of gold or it's painted gold or whatever. Right. Hey, that's what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. And so Jo goes out there. She's had a couple drinks.
Okay.
She's ready to go.
Lest we forget.
Yo.
A giant Green Lantern logo fell on a town.
That actually hasn't happened yet.
Has it not?
No, not in the past. In the present, yes.
Yes. Okay.
We'll get there.
Oh, because that's how the first issue kind of opens, is that double page splash.
Yeah. So Abin Sur's okay, he be without fear. And she's yo, what? Why did you kill them all? And he's what do you mean? Like, what? He's like, yeah. And he explains, he's like, all right, the only people I know whose existence has been ended are the following people. And he lists them off and explains how it happened. And she's like, and she like makes a plea. She's like, what? She's like, what are all these other people? And he's like, no, they're I didn't end their existence. And she's like, they're alive. He's like, man, like kind of. Like Guy Gardner, Jon Stewart, all those people, their existence haven't ended. They exist in Oa.
Oh.
They stand within the Alpha and the Omega.
Okay.
I used to the Omega and the Alpha to make it Oa, which drives me crazy. Because I'm like, how?
Why would you can't lead with the Omega?
Well, you lead with the Omega. I guess because Darkseid, yeah.
All right. Okay.
And their judgment reigns in progress. So like something else is happening. And so like Todd and Hal are in the door, and like Hal's listening, and Todd's like, you gotta fire now. And he's like, no, I think she's actually talking to him. So it's like Hal actually has like, he's compassion. Like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah.
Maybe she can get through to him.
Right.
And oh yeah, okay. So he mentioned some things about like the weapon of Card.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, you get it now. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. Ebensur's like, I'm out. And she's like, wait, what? Like, and so what happens is the way she gets her powers is Abin goes to leave.
Yes.
Joe reaches up. She's wearing her wedding band.
Oh.
And she touches him or the energy and like ends up putting her hand through his body because of the ring.
Okay.
And she's
gold.
Yeah. And she takes on power. And like he calls her a chaotic action and an anomaly. And then the big thing falls out of the sky.
Okay.
And hits.
E.
All right. And since we flash forward and there's like a helicopter and a bunch of like ops folks show up, and there's a off panel person talking, and they're like, you give me the sit rep here. And they're like, well, this, that, the other thing. And they're like, no. I want to know if like the fact that an emergency broadcast went out has like Lazarus all over it. And I'm like, and there it is.
All right. And Lazarus is
there
the through line.
Yes. Like Lazarus is the through line, at least between Superman and this.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but I do think you're right. But it's Hector Hammond.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I don't care.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like we kind of have established some stuff. I still am not 100% as to what is happening and or why.
Yeah.
At least I know that Hal, Hal had like the thought of like, I'll use the gun or whatever. But
right. Hal's not the Green Lantern, but he is doing something. He is there. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
yeah. All right.
It is interesting. But again, this was the one where I was like, oh, all right, let's get it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like I don't know. Like I know it's not possible.
Okay.
Like because of how chaotic the comic book industry can be, and I don't mean like financially. I just mean like just the behind the scenes drama and just the way that the sausage gets made. But like, this doesn't feel fully, this is one of those hot pockets you put back in the microwave.
So, and that's what's interesting with this issue, because it's like I like Al Ewing.
Yeah.
Or I like some of Al Ewing's stuff, and it could just be that Al Ewing is trying something different here.
Sure. Yeah.
And I had this thought, and I'm not saying this is bad or like this, that this book is bad or good.
No,
I really am not.
It's just an observation.
This is an observation. Has nothing to do with this book. It was just something that kind of sparked something else. Where I was just like, a good writer can write a bad thing, and a bad writer can write a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know what someone's going to be capable of producing and what's going to hit you in whatever way.
Yeah.
I do think that I have to at least. With this series in particular, I feel like I want to at least give it to the end of its like first story arc.
It's usually only 5 or 6 issues.
Yeah, so I have 1 or 2.
So
so like it could just be that like Ewing, for the stuff that I've read of Ewing, that happened to be the best stuff.
Right.
And this is maybe
this
normal.
Is more like a Venom.
Well, maybe this is more the norm.
Yeah, you've read some exemplary versions.
Right, or it could be the opposite. So I want to at least see it through. I do think I know a lot of folks struggled with the art. I think a lot of people didn't think it was quite there. I do think each issue Lindsay is getting better.
Yeah, getting more comfortable.
Sure. Definitely getting more comfortable. There's a lot of really like the first page. I actually really like the option, like the treatment there. I think there's some really interesting stuff here, and I think there's some really strong stuff here
Lindsay's
as well.
aliens are really great. His Abensur is a fun design.
But like I think even the human stuff is getting like quite strong.
Yes.
So it's kind of fun to see an artist who's like getting started out there, and that doesn't mean that they haven't done a whole bunch of really great things before this, but like putting themselves out there on like on a public stage, like a book like this allows them to have. So I'm excited to see more from them for sure, and I just think that there's like some really stellar good panel work here. In some of the
the double page splash of her actually getting her powers is really awesome.
And time was spent, thought was put together on that. And yeah, I think this book is frustrating at times for me because I'm just not really sure if this is like clever or this is just like, who cares?
Right. But like this book, like every book in this universe, like you can't afford to do that anymore.
I know.
Like it, especially in today's world, like let's just put aside the Absolute Universe and Initiative for a minute, just talk about comic books in 2025.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, it ain't 1995 where we could just, we could greenlight anything. Like we're, Quasar 60 issues. Like we everything has kind of got to be at the very least fully cooked before we go. Before we go, I mean, I've heard there have been pitches where it's just a sentence, like no outline, just on the strength of I've worked on this,
right?
Like a sentence,
and
the sentence isn't even very specific, I fear that Green Lantern, they wanted to have Green Lantern before they were ready to have Green Lantern.
I don't know if it's that. I honestly just feel like it's an idea that I think here's my fear is actually it is cooked.
And this is just as good as it gets.
Yeah.
That is a damning condemnation of this book.
That's more concerning to me, but it could also just be that we just need to unravel a little bit more of the story to fully see the scope of it.
Yes. But I fear, are we giving it that kind of leeway because it says Absolute on the cover? Like if this was another Green Lantern.
I think I'm giving that leeway because it's Ewing, and the stuff I've read of Ewing I've really liked because I haven't had many negative experiences with them.
Yeah.
But also because I'm like, it is part of the Absolute Universe for sure. I also want to point out Lindsay is also doing all of the colors as well.
Yeah.
And I want to give like a shout out to again the first page. I thought that was really well done with the red and the black. I thought that was really a gorgeous treatment.
I agree.
Great page.
Yeah. Right. I think it is. It's a special kind of book.
But like I regardless, I like having these conversations.
Yeah.
So to me, sometimes it is worth reading. Because
Absolutely.
I'm like,
because of that.
Yeah, I want to have the conversations, and I kind of like Jo.
Yes.
And I want to know more about her. From what I do know of her, I like her as a person. She's kind and she's compassionate and she's educated and she wants to, she is a person of something of action, but a thinking before it action type of person. And I want to know more.
Exactly.
But I recognize that we have to set up the rules of this universe first. So,
but do we, because I wonder, like, they didn't, when we first got Green Lantern, they weren't like, well, we got to get the mythology right first. It's like, they just went for it.
Yeah.
Guy in a crazy costume shows up and stops burglars. That's the story. Go.
Right.
Do we need to set all this crap up first? I mean, that's what we've been doing across the board, so I don't blame them, but still. I read Bring On the Bad Guys, Green Goblin #1.
Okay.
I feel like I had to because we had Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan on the show.
Yes.
To promote not only the Kaisei universe in IDW's Godzilla, but also because this book was coming out. The art is by Matteo De La Fonte. This issue is fantastic. There's more. I only read the first part. I saw Mark Guggenheim's name on it and I just moved on. But the first part is, it kind of is like, it's a retcon for Norman Osborn, but it plays on Nick Spencer's retcon of Norman Osborn, that Osborn pledged Harry's soul to Mephisto for power. And irrespective of Mephisto, he turned himself into a goblin. And after Osborn has become a goblin, but before he has actually gone out and been Green Goblin and razzled Spider-Man, Mephisto comes before him and he's like, I have this special dagger, which is part of the Bring On the Bad Guys story that's going to be across multiple issues with different bad guys. I need you to kill someone with this dagger when I call on you. And he actually offers it to him before he becomes Green Goblin. But when he becomes Green Goblin, he's like, all right, do this.
Is it his son?
No.
Oh.
It's an employee / coworker of his that's like, does not have it coming. Oh. And Gabi just really leans into it. And it's a scary book. It's a horror movie. It's a Jason movie. Like it's an early Friday the 13th. It's more like Halloween.
It's like a lot of things.
Yeah, it's scary. It's cool. It's not. It's a harmless retcon, and very atmospheric. And the art really sells it. I really enjoyed it, and it didn't try to do anything other than be creepy and subversive. And in as much as you don't get this kind of Green Goblin book. We're definitely not going to see this Norman anytime soon because of the status quo. So it's nice to see like a throwback to like when Norman was a complete psycho. Yeah, it was just a really good story. I was like, okay. I was just like, wow, this is solid.
That's awesome.
Like, but yeah. By the way, Lee Bermejo did the cover. It's awesome.
I was gonna say that looks like a Bermejo cover.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, good story. Genuinely,
great work, those guys.
Yeah, if I didn't know them, I'd be very surprised. I'd be like, whoa, like who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff.
Amazing.
It's a high recommend for me. Yeah. What do you want to talk about next?
I don't. You throw one up there.
Well, why don't we talk about Ultimate Wolverine?
Did you read it?
We both read Ultimate Wolverine.
Excellent. Written by Chris Condon with art by Alessandro Cappuccio.
That's right. Obviously Cappuccio had to leave Moon Knight to do this book, which is like, I don't blame them.
I do.
I mean, it's a shame, but like, but the new guy on Moon Knight's doing a great job.
Yeah, no, I know.
You
but
know?
I know
you really responded to Cappuccio.
Yeah, Cappuccio.
I didn't think this was Cappuccio's best work.
Okay, thank you for saying that because I agree.
And I was like, oh no, Ultimate Wolverine gave Cappuccio a like less than perfect issue to draw. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I agree. This felt very different art-wise.
It did. It did. It didn't even you don't get like a big moment either. Like there's no big art
there's
moment.
Really no big moment.
No,
here
that's what I'm saying. Is Condon did him dirty.
I don't think Condon did him dirty.
You could have done at least a double-page flashback sequence. The whole damn book is Wolverine whinging about being Wolverine. I'm like, again, even in this universe, you're gonna bitch about being Wolverine?
Yes.
Good Lord, man.
Yes, that is.
Well, at least we're back to basics, huh? The Resistance or whatever is like, we got Wolverine. I know he murdered a couple of our members, and that's okay because he's Wolverine. Get over it. He's just so popular. Moving on. And that's it. That's the whole issue. Is just these people talking about whether Wolverine, is awesome or not.
Well, it's more like Wolverine questioning if he is awesome, and we get to see like what the
What the Russian side.
Well, I was going to say what the conflict between he and Sabretooth will be, and it's not really a conflict. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
We're going to show you that, but it's not really anything.
No,
it
don't
doesn't
worry about
really
that.
matter.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that too, because I'm like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Not that I've had enough. I would like to see Wolverine versus Sabretooth, but I like to really see it.
Right. And they also like address the Mikhail in the room, because I was like, wait, I thought Mikhail was like in, but then this book's like, yeah. I was like, that makes more sense. Yeah, Magic is doing magic things. It's always rough to see her like when she's a bad guy, because you know how badly she doesn't want to be that in the regular universe.
Yep.
But it's still cool. I did like a lot of the hell stuff or the limbo stuff.
Yeah, no, it's always
really,
fun.
really fun looking.
Yep.
But this issue I felt like was kind of important. Simply for the fact that at the end there is like
end, like after the book is over.
After the like text conversation.
Yep.
There is like a online like an email newsletter kind of thing, or like a news blog or what have you. And on the side there's like a trending now, and it has like 3 images and 3
blurbs.
And it's like masked cape fighter takes down assassin in Nigeria. 8 Chom streamer claims new developments in Hinukuni, which is the meat case incident, and Harry Osborn, Oscorp heir and co-CEO, dead at 35.
Yeah.
And so like we have like a thing at the end of this issue that's like
Black Panther, X-Men, Spider-Man. This is part of that universe.
That things are like going on in the world as well. So I was like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. But that's what the graphics department did. So it's not quite as exciting as what the rest of the book was. Condon did a fine job giving us an exposition dump. Like it was very repetitive. Unfortunately, it was just he needed more that's happening in the next issue, so he couldn't have enough happening in this issue. It was a little bit of a dud.
I didn't think it was a dud because I liked seeing the group coming together.
It's fun to see the group come together.
I like the dressing of the elephant in the room, which is like, Wolverine was under mind control.
Yeah.
And how is it really gone?
Right.
Seemingly it is. But will everyone believe it? And it's like a lot of the team is willing to, and a lot of folks are like, okay,
yeah, all right.
Like I trust everybody here. You get the reminder that Remy and Kitty are together.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Red Guardian is there.
Yeah.
And that he names Wolverine.
That's fun.
So I think there's some fun character moments in this.
Yes.
It just doesn't have that same grit, but
no.
The book is also transitioning to be different. We were dealing with Wolverine, who was the Winter Soldier, and now we're dealing with Wolverine, who is just the Wolverine of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
So I think we needed like a little like pace in between to be like, hi. Okay,
yeah.
we need to make sure we have like, again, the rules in a way.
I wonder, like, it's only issue 7. I was just kind of like, the Wolverine being the Winter Soldier is the pitch.
Yeah.
We abandon it before issue 7. Like issue 7 is the issue where it's over, so you don't get Wolverine Winter Soldier in issue 7. So it's really only 6 issues of Wolverine Winter Soldier. Is that enough?
Well, the book's called Ultimate Wolverine, not Ultimate Winter Soldier.
I know, but like it's called Ultimate Wolverine because we know he's Wolverine. No one's going to buy Ultimate Winter Soldier.
That's not true. There's definitely some people.
I know there's a couple of smart alecks in the comments who'll definitely say that. But like the point is, if you're pitching an Ultimate Wolverine book, give me something new, give me something different, give me something familiar, but also something special.
Sure.
This book is like, but we're going to get back on track. And I'm like, but track is already happening. There's 2 other Wolverine books. I'm good. But, it was fine. It was fine. You went off the beaten track a little bit, didn't you?
I sure did this week.
Yeah, you read Gotham City Sirens, #1, Unfit for Orbit.
I definitely did. This is written by Leah Williams with art by Haining.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about like what led you to Gotham City?
Oh, absolutely. I read Exterminators.
That's what it was. Because Leah Williams
wrote Exterminators, and I was like, you know what? I had fun. I liked this cover.
Yep.
And it's the Dodsons.
Yep. Who are going to be doing the Zdarsky Wonder Woman Captain America story in the Marvel version.
Yes. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try the first issue, see if it's, has enough to pull me in. And it does.
Oh, wow.
I had a really good time with this. I don't often dip into this part of the DC universe. No. I really I like these 3 characters in my own way. Like I don't always love Harley Quinn, but sometimes I want to touch base with that character, especially maybe not within her own book. It's just her level of antics I can only handle for so long.
That's fair.
And then I'm like, I have to go.
But having some characters to play off of will help.
Yes, especially someone like Selena, who's going to be probably a little bit more of like the straight man. Listen, if you liked Exterminators, you might like this. It's a very different vibe from this, but you're getting a group of girls who are actually, I have a better pitch for you. If you were like me and ignored what the internet said about Final Fantasy X-2 and you enjoyed especially the opening sequence of that video game, that's kind of what the vibe of this book is for me. Wow. Like I'm reading this and I was like, this is YRP. In position, it's Showtime girls. Like that voice line just lives in my head. Rent free, 1,000%. And yeah, and I know that these 3 have a long history of being the Sirens, of antics, of being bad guys, good guys, morally gray guys, like just all of it. So I was in. I wanted to see what this is going to be about. I love Poison Ivy. I think she's super fun. Like it was always fun back in the animated series when she would have crossovers with Harley because their 2 personalities were so disparate of one another. Obviously, these 2 have formed a very different relationship over the years.
Since then.
So it's kind of just fun to see like the evolution.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, the idea here is that Selena wants to commit a crime.
Okay.
And she needs to get a distraction for said crime, and that's what Harley does.
Okay.
So she wants to hire Harley to cause a big distraction, and the place that she wants to rob is a nightclub called Lunaria, and it's a place that Poison Ivy just happens to have been investigating due to their carbon footprint that they're creating, and that it's like criminal, and so that's how the three of them get together.
Okay.
It is a spaceship themed nightclub, so they have to have fun outfits. And so we get them like in this. I really like. I don't know Haining's work whatsoever. Yeah. I really had a lot of fun with it. Mm-hmm. I like their art style, but I also really loved their like suit up scene, like utilizing the colors. Again, it's very Totally Spies. It's very Final Fantasy X too. It's very color coded girl, magical girl things, right?
Nice.
They're there. But you know, they suit up, they infiltrate. It is like a ridiculous. It's the type of nightclub that in my head, that's what nightclubs are like. And anytime I've ever had an opportunity, which has been very rarely, if ever, to go to a club,
it's not that.
It's not that. And I'm like,
yeah, it's not Hollywood, unfortunately.
But I want to go here.
Yeah, that's very expensive, I'm sure.
I'm sure. And I am not the person who's getting in.
Yeah.
I don't have the bankroll or the brands to get into most of these places. Mm-hmm. So the plan is, you know, you got this group, which I do kind of love this group because out of them, really one of them only one of them has powers.
Yeah, right.
I mean, unless you count Harley's ability to just waltz through life.
To be popular.
But, you know, Ivy's the one with the powers, and so they utilize them in order to get through. It is like open to the public night for some reason. Okay. So like, oh, what's going on there? Harley's gonna stay and be ready to cause distraction. Selena's gonna go find the thing she's looking for, which is something called the conduit. It was something that was stolen. She knows that the person who owns this club has it, and she's gonna go get it. And Ivy's gonna go investigate the other thing that she wants to, the environmental thing. Like hijinks ensue. Yeah. They end up finding out the conduit is not what they think it was.
Okay.
And then we are revealed as to who owns the nightclub. Presumably, I will spoil it for you. I will not spoil what the conduit is, but I will spoil who is running all of this, and it's Despero.
Such a weird pull, but also why not?
Yeah,
Despero looks awesome.
Yeah, looks really fun. It's silly, it's ridiculous, but I had a lot of fun, and I am legitimately on board for however many issues this is.
Yeah.
Just fun, colorful, cutesy. The three of them have, you know, a good bit of snark. You know, Selena is very much playing that role, but so is Ivy to some degree.
Oh, sure.
Right. So you kind of have two people who are like, business, let's go. And then you have Harley in the mix of it. But since Harley is always at an 11, you kind of need those two people.
Of course.
We do, you know, obviously we play off the fact that Harley and Ivy have
a history.
Have a history, and they have a different relationship than Selena has with either of the two of them. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting to watch Williams navigate that type of
multiple relationships.
There's multiple relationships, but also the way each character talks to one another.
Yeah.
So, well done.
That's cool. That's neat. All right.
Yeah, I had a really good time.
Yay. Let's see here. Yeah, I read this because I had to. I was like, you know what? I wanted to see where we were going with this. Of course, it was Amazing Spider-Man number 7. Joe Kelly, John Romita Jr. Hellgate. What's the story here? What's the deal with Hellgate? Spider-Man and Black Cat are gonna break up a robbery, and Hellgate has appeared, as was established in at the end of issue 6. Spider-Man uncharacteristically is like, I don't have time to talk to you right now. Like, I'll talk to you a lot, but like, I got to deal with this really quick. So Hellgate kills everyone in the area. Like, just be like, there, now you can talk to me. And so Spider-Man fights him for the rest of the issue. And it's like, I'm reminded of other things. It's just the history, it's just the curse of being a long-standing Spider-Man reader. Like, because I remember it being solicited as like, it's going to be a real Spider-Man like punch fest. Like, it's going to be the most brutal fight he's ever had. Not this issue, the next issue, I think. But the battle with Hellgate. But Hellgate's like an extra dimensional being of some kind, and so he's tough, and Spider-Man has to figure out how to beat him. And Hellgate's fueled by fire or heat or something. So Pete has to come up with like some cold-based ways of beating him. So that's fun to see. But
so he's really Hotgate.
He is Hotgate. But I guess
your numbers mean nothing when fighting him.
Oh, you've just created a better character. But it's fine. This book would be more exciting if it looked better. And the problem is just like, the issue I find, because I've always really enjoyed John Romita Jr.'s art, whether it's, Daredevil Man Without Fear or J.M. Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5's Spider-Man run, which he's getting another run, which apparently will run for as long as he wants or the readers want. So if you like, his writing, keep reading.
I'm sorry, wait, who's getting the
Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski is doing his own Spider-Man book.
Oh, where will it take place? Like in what continuity?
His own, because it's always existed in his own continuity.
Well, are you reading that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love Romita Jr.'s art, and lately, it hasn't been what it was. And for some, they can't. It's like when, no, you know what? I won't use that example.
Okay.
Because who knows? But I'll say this: I don't. I think the reason he's getting these gigs is because he's fast, and the problem is he's not actually fast. You know what I mean? He can finish a page quicker than Larraz.
I'm reading between the lines,
right? Like
with what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
Romita Jr. can finish the work on time, but it doesn't look as good as it would if he was given more. Like if Romita Jr. was given the same amount of time as Larraz, it would look better. It would look like Eternals.
Well, why are they racing so hard to get to 1,000?
I don't know. Well, because they're all worried they're going to get fired. Because they're always living in that kind of reality. I don't know why they're in such an effing hurry all the time.
I mean, I guess the idea is that if you're working on it, you want to be the people who worked on the 1,000.
That's the thing. We're not throwing shade at Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly couldn't care less.
Oh no,
we're talking about the powers.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Kelly's the person who decided that it needs to come out this often.
Yeah.
That really just it's either that or it's sort of like a money grab, or like to get to 1,000, because 1,000 will obviously be.
Yeah. No, I think that they want. It's a number of factors. Number one, the double ship has to stop. That's over. Add a couple extra pages and be done with it. You're done with the double ship. Amazing Spider-Man. There's no excuse in today's world why Amazing Spider-Man has to come out twice a month in any reality. That's over. You're overworking your artists. Amazing Spider-Man needs to be a AAA selling book. It needs to have a AAA art and creators on it.
Yeah.
Somebody made an observation where they were like, some of the top talent, like the biggest names in the industry, have written for Batman. And that is not the case for Spider-Man. Isn't that funny? A couple of factors for that. Not to say Joe Kelly, again, Joe Kelly's great, but there's no reality where Joe Kelly gets a shot to write the Batman book.
I disagree with that.
But Joe Kelly can have a Batman book. I could see a reality where Joe Kelly writes Detective Comics. If there weren't always going to be someone bigger next in line for Detective. Because Detective is clearly the chute that leads you to Batman. But no, I could see Joe Kelly getting a Dark Patterns of his own. But no, Joe Kelly will never write Batman. Batman. Because which is hilarious because Batman sells itself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need Scott Snyder to come back to the Batman adjectiveless title. But they would pay to do that. It's just weird. But, yeah. Anyway. That's it's just an interesting observation.
Yeah. And
you can read between the lines about why. But, yeah. Amazing Spider, again, like this would be, again, if this looked a little better, if Romita Jr. had a month to draw it would have looked great. And it would have had the gravitas that it wants. It doesn't.
Right.
There's also it's just, because the art falls flat, like moments that are objectively silly look even sillier. Felicia with two Uzis screaming and shooting. Like Black Cat doesn't need Uzis, but she's just like, "Arr!" And like she looks ridiculous, and the guns are bad looking, and and Pete's narration is just like, I've never seen Felicia this freaked out before, and I'm like, I feel like if an alien monster broke my nose, I'd be more freaked out, but never mind that. It's just like, but to be fair, he never saw that, so that's still not that's still true. But it's just like I could see a reality where Felicia Hardy as Black Cat grabs 2 Uzis and shoots them and screams at the same time. But like, because it looks so silly, it makes the situation even more like lame.
Right.
So, anyway, it's just like, hey, stop hurting yourselves. I don't understand it. You can even have me to do the covers because he's only doing the covers for Daredevil. Yeah. They're not great.
No.
But he is doing them.
Right.
Romita Jr.'s covers for Spider-Man, by the way, are always great. And they're always good. The Daredevil, not so much, which is too bad. But,
I don't love this guy.
Yeah. I don't love it either, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
This could have been a fun page.
That's fair.
But it happened.
But
hey, Sunnier Pastures, you read a book that
Heck
you
I
couldn't
did.
wait to see. Let me know how you liked it.
Yeah, I read Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 2, written by Brian Bucaletta with art by Christian Duce. Deuce. I don't know.
Deuce.
This is the sequel, the long-awaited sequel to Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 1.
Yep.
In which Godzilla and Kong come to
the DC
universe.
That was the first one. Yeah.
Yes, and in this one, a bunch of DC characters have gone to the Monarch.
The Monsterverse.
Yeah,
the Monarchverse.
Yeah, the Monarchverse. Yeah, I don't think that they're fighting like the Invisible Man and the Mummy.
Ugh. Universe, like, please.
How about us?
That'd be so great.
In the last issue, Shaw shot Amanda Waller.
Right. Oh, yeah.
She is dead.
Okay.
As far as we know.
Why not? They killed Guy Gardner.
Yes. So either she is dead or she's going to Amanda Waller her way out of this and be like, but actually,
no,
that was just Jello that rolled out. I knew this would happen. In this issue, they run into Kong and he is angry. He mad and he doesn't recognize anybody because technically it's 4 years after that event.
Yeah, still in continuity, right?
A big Killer Croc shows up. There's a big cool fight. And inevitably, Killer Croc is down and dead.
Oh, no.
Killer Croc does not make it out of here.
All right.
But inevitably...
Does he kill him like he killed the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
I thought that was going to happen. No, he does not.
Oh, man.
Real
a sequence of him playing with his jaw.
Yeah, I don't think we needed that in the book. But...
2 movies.
Throughout this issue, Superman and Supergirl are like, first of all, here's what we need to do. We need to make sure Kong's on our side. So we need to repair that relationship in some way, shape, or form. The 2 of them don't have the same power set here.
Oh, why?
They're just the sun is different. They're not as up to snuff as they normally would be.
All right.
So she's like, I gotta try and fix this. So off she goes. Superman the entire time is like, okay.
Well, they're in the middle of the earth, right?
Not yet.
Isn't that where Kong is?
Not on Skull Island.
Oh, it's before they go to the center of the earth or some nonsense?
Yeah, they're on Skull Island.
All right, fine. Sorry.
Superman, the entire issue is like, I mean, everyone agrees. They're like, so this is Lex Luthor. This is Luthor written all over it. And that's why they were here. Remember, Mercy reached out and was like, Lex is missing. What happened? So off they have gone. So they're like, obviously, this is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like, obviously. And Superman, so we have to find him.
Okay.
We have to find him right now.
All right, Clark.
So he is able to use his super hearing, even though he's like, it's not quite as good, but I can definitely tell that Lex is there. And when they find them, like Lex and Shaw are in some big thing and essentially are like, I told you he'd show up.
Right.
And so all of our heroes are there. And that's when what Flash calls the Legion of Doom shows up. And they're like, we're the Suicide Squad. And Peacemaker's like, I prefer Task Force X. I don't believe it.
So we're 3 different ideas.
We're all the things at once.
Okay.
And they have a big fight. But like Superman's taken down initially.
Sure.
And we watch as Captain Boomerang and Peacemaker are going to take out Flash. Inevitably, Peacemaker totally shoots him in the head.
Oh. Okay.
And you're like, what? Don't worry. We don't leave on a cliffhanger here. He's not dead.
Okay.
It like grazed him, but he may or may not have a concussion. Batman needs to like do an MRI on him.
Oh no.
And so a bunch of the characters are gonna like take care of Wally. So Wonder Woman will take care of the rest of the task force task.
Yes.
And yeah, that inevitably, I guess, goes sideways based on a conversation between Black Manta and Captain Cold, which is hilarious because Black Manta is obviously like super science guy.
Oh yeah.
Ish, you know, like tactical, awesome guy, and also super smart sciencey person. And Captain Cold's an idiot in this universe.
Oh, okay.
Like completely.
He invents that gun though.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay.
In this, he's an idiot.
All right.
So the two of them don't really get along.
Fair.
They're gonna go help with the Wonder Woman fight, and Superman chases after Lex. That's all he can think about. He's like, I gotta stop Lex. I gotta stop Lex. He goes into the Hollow Earth, where Lex is like, you notice something?
Right.
There's the sun. You idiot. Haha, I've got you now. But they don't have time to really think about that because that's when all the other super apes show up, like the big apes.
Yeah, the big apes. Super apes. You hate those guys.
I do. Superman's like, we have other issues, Lex.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing you didn't know about this.
Right. Now we got to fight monkeys.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
How do you feel about this?
We're getting a lot more Kong in this, and I'm much more of a Godzilla gal than a Kong girl. So I'm kind of just waiting for the Godzilla of it all.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to judge it right now because I don't think that's fair because I'm just like, but my favorite character's not really in it. So what's happening? And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
He's going to show up.
Right.
Having a good time. I like these characters being up against these ridiculously large beasts. I love them talking about it because like now they have experience. So they're just like, I got to go repair the relationship with the big monkey.
Yes.
I got to figure this out.
Okay. We'll throw a blonde at him.
They did. And it hasn't really taken. So she's got to figure that out. Maybe it's not him.
Get Ollie.
Maybe something's wrong. Yeah. Get Ollie. That's maybe he's just like, I like that one.
I like that blonde.
I like that one with the green hat. I like the green hat one.
Exactly.
So
all right. Well, I'm glad it's still happening.
It's fun and it's ridiculous. And I am wondering if anyone else from Monarch is going to show up.
I mean, they better. They're in their universe. There's no other time. It's never going to happen again. So they might as well check it out. I read Chip Zdarsky's debut on Captain America, the new ongoing series with art by Valerio Schiti.
I can't believe Schiti's on it. That's amazing.
I know. And a Canadian writing it. No, I appreciate actually
then
Chip's insight.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, it's Our Secret Wars is the name of the story arc, and there's a lot of story going on. There's a plot where we see Steve reacting to the Marvel Universe shortly after being thawed out and discovered by the Avengers, and just he's being Captain America.
Yeah.
And then we have another story that's a flashback to a young boy who is bullied, and it parallels Steve Rogers' journey, but he witnesses 9/11, and that's what motivates him. That's his Pearl Harbor. Yes. And I'm like, is this new Captain America Tom King or something? Like, but yeah, so that's a story. And also then we watch as that young man like joins the military, gets involved in the war, and then enrolls in gets roped up in like a new super soldier program and becomes a new Captain America. I mean, spoilers, but like that's what I put in the thumbnail. So like, we know that like at the very least they're gonna try to make him a new Captain America. That's very interesting. It's a bold pitch to try now in a world where Bucky was Captain America, but more importantly, Sam Wilson is not only Captain America adjacent to Steve in the comics, but is the only Captain America in the movies. And it's just very interesting because like, that's going to be what it's about. Like this book is like, well, here's a new Captain America and he's white. Let's see who's going to complain about that. Like, let's see how that starts a conversation. Right. Also, you can get the impression like this guy doesn't have Steve's temperament. He has all of Steve's traumas, but he wants to. He doesn't want to do the right thing. He wants to be like a soldier. He's angry. That's why he wants to be where he is. Right. So I doubt it's going to end well for this guy. Skeety has some great moments in this. All the action sequences are great. All the quiet moments are a little like...
That's Skeety.
Yeah.
Titty.
Oh, yeah. No, the quiet moments are like, all right, a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But the action sequences are great. There's, Steve on a bike, Steve jumping out of things, Steve wearing a special new armor they designed. That's...
I wonder if this is the same colorist. Because as
the previous, as Skeety's other series that you like.
Yes, because it's like it was so slick looking.
Yeah, Frank Martin. That sounds familiar.
I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, it's weird. Okay, so like, generally speaking, it's a good looking book with a great writer, and we have to set up like kind of a masthead for what this book is about, and we got to set up what this, like, we got to make you understand what the mission statement is of the series. And many writers in the last 10, 20 years have been like, hey, did you know this about Captain America? Well, how about this surprise? Like, how about this reveal or this new change?
Yeah.
So it's familiar ground. It feels a little scattershot. Like, it feels like there's a lot of... I will say that what's interesting about the issue is that it feels like you're getting more book for your dollar. There are over 30 pages of book in this, so you are getting technically more book than usual for a first issue, but it just like feels... it felt long.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily knocking it, but I'm not giving it its full... It's not like I'm like, well, it was a book and it just wouldn't end, and I was just so relieved.
Yes.
There were moments where I was, because it's the same artist on the whole book, and Skeety's style is so very specific. I had trouble instantly recognizing what time period we were in, which may have been deliberate. But
right.
I don't understand to what degree. So I feel like it might have been just, odd. I don't know, arrangement.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know what, I talked about mission statements, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what Chip wants to say with Captain America yet.
And maybe he's just leaning into it slowly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't do that with a first issue, especially with a Captain America book.
Well, you read like when he did
yeah, that book where like...
Yeah, the future one.
Yeah, the future one. The one the His Kingdom Come, but for Captain America. Yeah, that was the same.
Okay. But you ended up liking it.
I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
Okay.
But I liked it.
Okay.
I'm not saying, and again, this is not a bad book. But with Chip's experience,
yes,
and his strong feelings and beliefs,
yes,
and I'm not saying that he's like opinionated in any insane or inappropriate way. I'm just saying, like, Chip knows who Chip is. Chip knows what Chip wants. I don't know if this book had everything. It was trying to do too much.
All right.
There's and the parts that are like Chip's strengths are fantastic.
Yes.
Like the kid who would be Captain America, I don't have any connection. Like, I don't feel nothing for this kid. And I did see 9/11. Like, I understand. I don't feel anything for him. I don't feel like just dread, which I'm supposed to, but like, I don't feel concerned for him. I don't feel against him. I just don't feel anything.
Okay.
It's a problem.
Maybe there's gonna be a turn.
I mean, there better be, but like, I'm just saying, I don't care. Like, right now, if there is a turn, good luck. I don't care. I hope you get written out of the book. Like, I don't care about you.
Okay, that's fair.
That this. I guess I'm here for Steve. And there are some great flashback sequences. Like, there's a great moment where like Steve teams up with the Fantastic Four, again, early in Steve's career, having been brought back, and he like chats with Reed, there's a sequence where like Steve needs to go to Latveria. He decides he rejects the Avengers, which he doesn't do in the comics, but whatever. And instead joins the U.S. government.
Okay.
And the government's like, go to Latveria and topple Doom's regime. That's like the first thing they want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great pitch and an awesome thing that I want to see. And we don't do that. Maybe the second issue. But he like meets with Reed, and they have a conversation, and it's a really cute scene because you never get to see Reed and Steve interact. And man, Chip would be great on a Fantastic Four book.
Yeah, but me, I don't know. I say give it a little more.
I'm going to. No, I am. But it didn't. I wasn't surprised.
Right.
It was just kind of there. Like it felt like wallpaper, which I don't mean. I'm not trying to be mean. Every sequence is expertly executed. Like Steve has an interaction with Tony that's great. Steve had an interaction with Thunderbolt Ross, which is great. Like it's all consistent and great, but it's not terribly challenging, and it didn't blow me away.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. By the way, the person I was thinking of, which would not have worked for this book whatsoever, is Marte Gracia.
Oh, one of the best colorists in the industry.
That was who did Sword when Skeety was on that.
Yeah.
I think they're just going for something that fits Cap a little bit more.
It's a little more grounded.
Yes, but like that's why I was like, I never felt like a conversation looks bad. Because I think Skeety's like line work is really it sings. With Gracia's colors on it. This is definitely more visceral feeling for sure.
Yeah, it has there is.
But I think it's still lovely. Yeah. It has like a Rockwell quality.
Yes, which is intentional.
With its like color palette choices.
Yeah, and Frank Martin does differentiate between time periods. Like you can tell if you're looking when you're in the past. There's a more faded quality to the colors, which is great. And I do really like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I understand what it's about, but I don't know what it's about.
Yeah. Not yet.
If that makes sense.
Not yet. You'll get there.
I will.
First issue.
I like it well enough, but I think it, and it's got a real surprise. It's got a hell of a of an opener. You're like, whoa! Like I guess this is you open the first page is 9/11.
Yeah, that's a page.
Yeah.
That's a page for sure.
It's interesting. I'm like, all right, cool. So,
absolutely.
I wish them all the best, and I want to see this book explode, and I hope it does. If anyone is upset by it, it's because they're professionally outraged and just know they're trying to get your money. Like they don't really care and they don't really believe what they say. If you want the harshest criticism of this book, this is the episode to find it. Like this is the only channel you're going to find that in. The rest of it's going to be manufactured, weaponized, and monetized outrage. There is no genuine belief in there. So if you are triggered by them, just know that they are doing it on purpose, and you can dismiss them. What's the book of the week?
Yo, what is the book of the week? What's yours? Did you actually pass that buck? I was like, hey.
I mean,
here's the
you know what I'll say? I think I actually will give it to Captain America because I want to give honorable mention to Bring on the Bad Guys. I didn't read the rest of Bring on the Bad Guys.
Right.
So I can't really judge it.
Right.
But Cap is good.
Right. Okay.
It's a solid. This is what they're supposed to do. You get like a big writer and a good artist, and you just go. Great. And Captain America doesn't have a secret sister, or you know what I mean? Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it. Do everything right.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just not. I'm not. I haven't figured out your rhythm.
That's fair. I think I'm going to give it to what I'm going to call like a great popcorn book for the summer, which is going to be Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah.
Listen, I am really loving Godzilla or Justice League versus Godzilla versus
Kong
too. But I want to give a shout out to a new book. And like I said, like it is such a popcorn action, just fun energy book. So yeah, I'm going to give it to that book this week.
All right, cool.
That will probably not get its that again, depending on what it's up against. But it's a great. I really had fun with it.
Sure.
It's just fun.
That's
just
great.
Like, I was like, yay! What's next?
I love it. All right. Well, then let's read some super chats, and then we'll recommend books that are coming out.
To do that. Good.
Arduit, thank you very much for your very generous super chat.
Thank you.
ComicPop Woo. Not to get too heavy, but I want to make a point of saying thanks. I'm in the part of Texas that flooded.
Oh my gosh.
And it's been rough. I'm sorry to hear that. That blows. Man.
I hope that you and your family are okay. First of all, that y'all personally safe. And I hope all as many of your personal items as well are also safe, because it's like, I know there's you hear people being as long as you're okay. And it's like, yes, absolutely.
Right.
But
first and foremost, you and your loved ones.
But
then there's your memories.
Yeah. To have that undercut like that, where it's just of course, the most important thing is that you are physically safe, but that feeling of So I hope everything is as safe as possible.
Same. But I've had back issues and books. Y'all helped stoke my passion to get, so thanks. What do y'all do has reached an impact. Well, thank you, Arduit. We do appreciate you, man. We love seeing you in the chat every time.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. Goes on to say,
yes.
On the topic, thank you very much, by the way. On topic of comics, Resurrection Man has been amazing, and I finally read Human Target by Tom King. Both are fantastic. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love to you, man. That's the one book I skipped this week.
Why? You said you liked it.
I do like it. I just didn't have time. I'm sorry. I'm editing 2 episodes of Back Issues at once to try and make sure that there is no gap while I'm in San Diego.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just didn't get a chance to read it, but I do know it's a good book. So I thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Solid Jake, thank you for your generosity. Hi, Sound Tiffany. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, Sound Tiffany. The last episode of ComicPop with Spider-Man Ultimate Comics may be the funniest episode yet.
Thank you.
Is there a trade paperback collection of Detective Comics that you would recommend?
Oh man, I'm enjoying, though I don't know if I can recommend. I mean, the Tom Taylor run is pretty good right now, so it's like you can jump in at any point and enjoy the series. But I want to say, rather than that, there is a Norm Brayfogle Batman collection that may encompass some of his Batman stuff and also his detective work. I believe it's called Legends of the Dark Knight Norm Brayfogle, with multiple volumes. This collects Detective Comics numbers 579 and then 582 to 594 and 601 to 607. Great stuff. A lot of terrific art in there, but of course you also get some really fun cameos. The Demon Etrigan is in there, the Clay Faces, all that stuff. Really, really cool. I love that. I'll put a link to at least it's on DC's website in the chat, so you can check that out.
Nice.
Anthony Hudak says, hey guys, absolutely love how epic Thor versus Godzilla got. If you are bringing back GBU, I think Godzilla comic crossovers make a great episode. I agree with you.
That's a great idea.
I would love to bring back GBU. It's just a question of getting the guys back in the studio for any length of time. Yes. The reality is they can never be here for 2 shows in one day. So I'd have to get them back in another day. But they have an hour driving both ways to get here for one day. I can't ask them to do 2, so I guess we'll just never bring that show back. But we'll see what happens. Or we'll have
to bring it back in another way.
Yeah, I'll have to do it as a podcast or something, which I really hate to do. But
why?
Because I have a studio.
Okay.
Because it looked good. I don't want to. I hate for shows to look worse than they did when they started.
Well, you have to decide whether or not you want the show more than you want it to look.
That's why we don't have a show.
Oh, okay. Club Remix. I'm gonna get yelled at again.
I didn't yell at you.
Club Remix said, I love Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto. Do you think his deal with Riri means she will be a Ghost Rider with power armor? I hate her, but I love that.
No. Bryce Harriet, hello. Thank you again for being so informative during back issues and interviews. What comics coming down the pipeline are you most excited for? I mean, there's tons of books that are coming out that I'm excited for. I mean, you'll hear a few of those recommendations at the end of this show, but Terminator Volume 1 is coming out.
Yeah, that's
they're self-serving. But I'm excited to see what Kirkman has to say with Transformers. I guess that sounds fun. I'll try that out. I guess I don't know. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I mean, Dark Patterns is a fantastic series that continues to delight, and each installment is a different, or several issues is its own kind of volume. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the Absolute line is great.
Yeah, Absolute line, Ultimate line's been really fantastic. Yeah, I'm not really. I haven't really been looking ahead too much. We're just kind of living in the now of what's been coming out. I didn't expect to really like Gotham City Sirens, but I did this week. So
that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have to take a peek and see what's coming in the far future.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's me.
Yeah.
Alexandre Debian Brassard. Did I say that correctly? I don't know.
I
Hi,
never do.
Salentif. Call me Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I met Jed McKay at a con
Nice.
and told him you guys loved his Moon Knight, and he was very receptive. Could be open to an interview.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We'd have many time.
That's awesome.
That's fun.
Amazing.
I'm sure Jed was like, "Oh, good. I don't know who that is, but that's not, I'm glad to hear it."
But thank you for saying that. That's really cool.
I
of
really
you. And I hope you had a
appreciate it.
really good con, and I hope you also had a great interaction
It's true.
and got a signature.
Yeah, did we meet Jed McKay? You met Jed McKay at a con.
Did I?
Yeah, we
I
got
think I
a
did.
book signed.
I think I did.
We got his Moon Knight signed.
Yeah, but I didn't. I'm not like.
You didn't go like, and I talk about it on.
Yeah, I don't do that.
No. Yeah, I will do that. I'll be like, Tiffany talked about him.
I'm like, sheesh.
Like what was it called? The designer, color, whoever does that book that you talked about, that black and white book. One of the guys who did that black and white book that you liked from last week. You know the one.
Oh yes. The Fallout.
Yeah, the one with the sentence, like all the indie books now.
Oh my gosh, it's not a sentence, but I know what you're talking about.
Isn't it?
It's literally Fallout. I have it right here.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Oh well. Anyway, I messaged. I talked to them on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, Tiffany loves your stuff, or loved your work on that issue."
And they're like, "Who's that?"
And he's like, "Wow, nice. I really appreciate it."
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going back
I
to
like
my
to-
library.
There we go. Hulkzilla says, if you could make an unorthodox team for a comic book run or miniseries, who would you pick? Example, Al Ewing and Peach Momoko for Ghost Rider.
News from the Fallout.
News from the Fallout. What a great book.
Yeah, really great book.
So
So yeah, who would you pick?
they have to be unorthodox. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's I don't know. It's tough.
Tom King for My Little Pony.
Yeah, he would do it. He'd
I
be
know.
like, yeah. Like, okay, sounds good, man. Okay.
Yeah, friendship is magic, man. Come on, get on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my kids love My Little Pony too. I'm happy to do that. I mean,
He's just writing. He's like, they're getting sad. What's happening?
Oh,
I don't
no.
understand.
Yeah, I trampled my owner. No, they don't have owners. They're autonomous ponies. I mean, I would. I would love to see what Tom would do with Spider-Man. Just be like, go for it.
I didn't mean to get you on the
He's so
solely
sad.
Tom King.
No, but I won't stay there. I just mentioned it because like the only time he's ever done anything is when he made a fart joke in a Vision book. Like he's never written Spider-Man ever again.
Right.
But yeah, unorthodox is the
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Daniel Warren Johnson on Eternals.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to come up with like
Something Kirby.
I was trying to come up
Like
with
New Gods.
something like, okay, so who is a character? There's plenty of them, but trying to come up with a character who it's just like is so ridiculously like obviously 90s and there's nothing to them. Like, they're just like
Adam the Extreme.
but like that anyone would care to read.
He had his own. Well, he did have his own book. He didn't have his own book, but I mean, like, you know.
Perfect. I was like, we'll put Kieran Gillen.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Actually, I mean, there's no proof that says that Gillen hasn't written for Adam. Like, maybe Adam did pop, but like, yeah, someone who doesn't. I mean, like, you know,
that it's like just like a flimsy character who's just like their
someone
whole.
get mad at me, but like Kieran Gillen on Darkhawk would be great.
Oh, okay.
He fits your description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna keep thinking about that.
Yeah, I wanted to too. Good.
Red Walrus 55 says met Snyder and Capullo on Saturday.
Nice.
I mentioned Scott's interviews on this channel, and he had nothing but great things to say about the channel and how important it was to him and to be able to pitch Absolute Batman to Sal and Benny. Oh,
Thank you, man. I really appreciate the show. That's very nice. It's very nice to let them know that I exist. But yeah, no, it was important. Like it was a really cool experience, and it was a really fun conversation, and multiple conversations. It was actually funny. Now that we can talk about that. So Scott, there's a DC like mixer that happens at San Diego Comic-Con, which I have been blessed enough to attend once or twice. It's wristband only. You can't access it, but there's an area. Scott and Benny and I were talking about it and walking to the mixer, and he was pitching us the idea, and you know, Benny was just blown away by anything that was happening. He was just like, what? Whoa. And he was just excied to have the conversation. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. I loved the teacher angle for Thomas.
Yes,
and the mass shooting concept was something where we definitely gelled really well in the conversation. When we got there, he continued to talk about like the initiative and the absolute whole line, but we were we were at the thing, and he's like, I can't talk about it. Like, so we went behind like a bush, and we're talking about it, and he's like, yeah. And as we're talking about it, Dan DiDio just comes right up to us out of the freaking mist, and he's like, hey, Scott, what's going on? And like, Scott's like, holy shit. Like, it was a very interesting and surreal experience. And Benny and I were like, oh! And then we hung out, and we went to the mixer, and Benny and I were there, and like, we're just like, I can't believe we're here. And that's a story of its own that we'll talk off mic about, but like, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what do you?
It's really nice that Scott like remembers that.
I really appreciate that too. Yeah, it was nice. It was yeah. Dex Baker, I continually walk away from Absolute GL wanting. It's not bad, but I feel disappointed waiting a month for what we get. This is slow and slim on story. I agree, but also I haven't read it in 1 or 2 issues. Sorry,
I'm going to go back to, because I know I went back to like I was thinking, because it was technically supposed to be a team for the book, so I was like, by Tom King on My Little Pony,
right?
And I'm like, let's throw Lee Bermejo in there as the artist. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. Sad real horses.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, I agree.
Clever.
But at least they have the month.
Yes.
You know, think about how much less you would like it if it shipped twice a month.
Well, maybe not. Maybe we get more. I don't know. Clever back to say, any bad/mid comic book stories you want to see remade? For me, Acts of Vengeance. I'd love to see a rematch of Apocalypse versus Loki now that both are more defined.
Yeah, an Acts of Vengeance would be really cool to do again. That's a really great idea, because like the pitch is great and the execution is not.
Yeah.
Hickman did redo Inferno by name only, but like, what a neat idea that would have been, which I guess they kind of did with Dark Web. Dark Web is just Inferno 2.0.
Yeah.
The original Inferno.
But that was great. That was fun on one half of it and not on the other half of it. So,
and guess which half?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd love to, not now, not with anyone working today, but like, I would have loved to have seen like a Maximum Carnage done again. Like a Spider-Man event on that kind of scale, where it's like New York is being destroyed or ravaged by Spider-Man villains, and not like the Queen or some nonsense, because Spider Island technically counts. Spider Island was like the last time, but I would love to see like a Maximum Carnage, but like treated with the same concept, because for them, Maximum Carnage felt more like a Nightfall for them, and that's cool, and I'm glad they did that. But it was also in New York, so it had to affect. But they were like, but also we can't have these characters, so you can only use who's left over. So it was like Cap and Deathlock.
Yeah.
Great. And Firestar.
Yeah.
But also that's a really fun idea, because they were also then able to be beaten by like Carrion and like Doppelganger.
Right.
But yeah, I'd love to see that again.
It's funny because I get it, because there are definitely some things I've read where I'm like, oh, this could have been so much cooler, or like, other people have had better ideas to go along with it. But then I'm also like, but art is what it is when it goes out there. So then sometimes I'm like, I just go back and forth on it, because part of me doesn't want that, and part of me absolutely wants that.
Yeah,
so
I think just
struggle with it.
Yeah, just do Acts of Vengeance 2.
There you go.
Be fine. Yeah.
Heartless Fang saying, I never knew I would be sold on a book via Final Fantasy X2.
Nice.
Well, listen, that's why you come here, because who else is going to make those connections?
Club Remix, how was your 4th of July? I blew up $600 worth of unlegal fireworks. Yeah, that's right. YouTube wouldn't let them say illegal for some weird reason. Yeah, it was good. We had dogs and enjoyed fireworks. It was great.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah, we didn't blow up our own, but we did watch some.
Yeah, they're not, the smaller ones aren't illegal here anymore, but I'm always still like, nah.
Yeah, it is jarring.
Like, I don't know. I'm just inviting disaster into my own life.
That's true.
Typical Spider says, hey guys, coming in to say I got engaged to my beautiful best friend last week.
Congratulations.
Huge congratulations. That's awesome. I love that you called them your best friend. That's so sweet. Thanks for keeping me entertained, and the future wife thanks you for keeping me from dumping all my comic talk on her.
Nice.
I love that.
I'm
That's
sure,
so
yeah.
great. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well wishes for the future.
It's true. Yeah, Mazel Tov. I don't know
Absolutely.
what the I don't know if there's a specific greeting.
I don't know.
I think it's just...
and whatever your plans are for the next steps at post your engagement, make it about you two.
That's right. That's right.
For sure.
Too Insane. I came late, so your thoughts on Spider-Gwen rewriting 616 continuity reality that happened in Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider number 15. I remember I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all about whether that's a thing or not. But so what happened was like Spider-Gwen gets like I think a cosmic cube or something, and she like retcons. She changes history, so she and her dad always existed in the main continuity. And I'm like, but they're Gwen and they don't overwrite Gwen and Captain Stacy. They're also Gwen and Captain Stacy, but from their universe in this reality.
Why?
So it's because God hates me. Like it's just dumb.
But like to what end?
Right. Well, so that they can live here, so that we don't have to like even try to depict that neat universe that existed outside of her concept. Yeah, just a weird idea. I don't know.
That's bizarre.
I know. I don't feel anything when I hear it, except for like, why would you do that? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, does anyone really care? Like, it's just like, it's a lot of effort for like no one's enjoyment, you know? It's like when someone like over corrects or like overdoes it, you know? Like you're all having a good time, you're all hanging out at somebody's house, and like, oh my God, we don't have hors d'oeuvres. And it's like, dude, we're going to have dinner in like 10 minutes. It's okay. And then they like spend all their time in the kitchen just making something else. And it's like, hey, you're missing it. You're not like that.
Are you calling me out right now live on the show?
You've never done that.
I have so done that.
No, you haven't.
I am like
literally
queen
never
of
done that.
overcorrection when it comes to food.
Well, don't do that. But you didn't do it. You've never done that.
How dare you?
Yep.
Jam Kyle X, new guy reminds me of Anti-Cap, who lost his girlfriend during the Oklahoma City bombing and wanted to join the Navy. He had health problems too. The Navy wanted their own SEALs. Cap, war on terror stories, etc. Yeah.
This is not an original concept. The idea of like an anti-cap or a new cap. I mean, U.S. agent exists.
Yeah.
But instead it's this.
Right.
I'm sure poor Chip had to fight really hard to get 9/11 in the book. So, but it's like that concept, but harder to do.
Yeah. And now this.
Listen, Riri Williams is just Jim Rhodes' niece. Look her up. There's dupes. There's duplicates everywhere. Club Remix. Do you think there'll be another YouTuber, internet personality turned huge successful Hollywood director like Dan Trachtenberg, or was he one of a kind? I mean, Dan Trachtenberg is a very talented person. I think that, talent comes from any source. So, technically, I do feel like once someone climbs through a window into an industry, they tend to shut that window and then nail it closed. So probably not. But like YouTube is also a viable avenue for creative expression. And it's a great opportunity for other people to see that expression immediately, like without any real like provocation. So like, yeah, I mean, I can imagine that's the case.
Yeah,
I can see that happening again.
Absolutely. King of New York says, "Hey guys, love y'all. I'm so excited for Superman this week. I'm seeing it with my mom, whom I rarely get to see these movies with. Last one was
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Nice. That's great. You're gonna have a great time.
That's
I think.
Amazing.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but we are seeing it tomorrow, and I'm very excited about that. Yeah, Tiff and I are gonna go see Superman tomorrow. We should probably do a video about it at some point as a quick review. We'll see if we have time.
We'll do it.
But I think that's great. And I love that you're seeing with your mom. That's so sweet.
I think that's really sweet.
Right?
Have fun.
Yeah. All right. Let's recommend some books that are coming out this week that we should check out.
Do it.
All right. Tiffany, take it away.
Oh, I guess Absolute Superman #9 is coming out.
Yeah, you can recommend that.
Okay.
Let's see here. Fantastic Four #1 is just a relaunch. It's the same. It's not Ryan North. Everyone loves Ryan North on Fantastic Four. They're not going to change that, but Humberto Ramos is going to draw it. So, dividing people's opinions, I'm sure. But
I am sure.
I like Humberto Ramos, so I'm excited to see that. I'm going to give it a try.
Okay.
Batman Dark Patterns number 8, one of the best Batman books on the shelves, is coming out. That's exciting.
Amazing.
I love that series. Here we go.
Power Fantasy number 10. Woo! Love this book. Love this book so much.
Right. I saw a thing for Marvel Swimsuit Special, Friends, Foes, and Rivals, which is coming out. It's just it's like a subversive kind of take on like the swimsuit concept. I think that's funny. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring number 1 is dropping from IDW. Definitely check that out if you haven't already.
Absolutely.
Read the first volume. Read the first volume. It's the first page spoils the entire book. So like read all of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees if the concept seems appealing to you. But if you are interested in jumping on, there's a new sequel to it that is dropping tomorrow or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Trinity Daughter, Wonder Woman number 2 is coming out. This sees the Trinity of Trinities going to a death in the family.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Tom King, Belen Ortega. I'm a sucker for this. It's a great series. Definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely.
There is a new Gotham by Gaslight sequel dropping, which I did not care for the first 2 issues of the sequels. Kinda like whatever the new one was, the Kryptonian Age.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Andy Diggle and Leonardo Fernandez. Well, if Diggle's on it, probably doesn't bode well for it, but I'll give it a try anyway, just to see how it goes.
Fair.
But hey, we're finally seeing the Justice League in that universe.
What? Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit number 2?
Oh my God, what?
All right, let's go.
Same creative team.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Let's do it. I'm excited. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Predator Black, White, and Blood is coming out from Marvel. Joe Kelly and Alvaro Lopez. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Joe Kelly had a Predator book. Yes, please.
Done and done.
Just a quick shout out. I got a chance to read this book a long time ago, and it's actually coming out from Bad Idea. Robert Venditti and Derek Kolstad are doing a book called Planet Death. It's rare to see a book that looks like this on the shelf. This book is nuts. If you like space and sci-fi horror, if you dig Alien / I guess, I don't know, Warhammer, you might like this. Check out
Gotham
Planet
City
Death.
Sirens is weekly.
Oh my God, 4 issues.
For 4 issues.
That's nuts. I can't believe
Hooray! I that's exciting.
that. Yeah.
It's Jeff Infinity Paws number 1. Yay.
Yeah.
Different writer.
Yep.
I'm still gonna maybe take a peek at it.
Yeah. And maybe I'll read this. We'll see. It's Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, written by Kevin Smith with art by Fernando Ruiz from Archie Comics. It's a sequel to Clerks 3. So if you were wondering what happens to Randall afterwards, but before Kev tells you what happens to Randall for the rest of his life, which he tells you.
Yeah, I really wasn't.
Nope. Well, they meet Archie
Oh
too.
my God, FML number 5 is dropping too.
Hey, I remember
like
that
this
book.
series. Did I read 4? I really like FML, so I'm gonna definitely pick that up, and I might have to go back and grab number 4 as well.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that book forever ago.
Yeah. I wonder if it went on break.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, there you have it, everybody. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And, of course, thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. We really, really appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
And thanks to the chat for being kind and respectful and everything. I want to remind you, there are screenings for Superman happening today, which means there will be spoilers tomorrow, perhaps even tonight. So make sure to be wary for spoilers. And if you are one of those people who got lucky enough to be able to see that, okay, that's it. I was like, oh my God, is there another issue of that Black Panther book yet? No, it's a variant cover. But yeah, if you are in the sphere of social media, make sure to avoid them. And if you are one of those lucky people who gets to see that movie, whether it's today or tomorrow, please don't spoil the movie for other people. You may be excited about it. Well, listen, I got an exciting prospect for you. If you are interested in continuing to talk to people, if you have nobody in your immediate sphere that wants to hear about your opinion about Superman, join our Discord. There's a link to invite you in the comments below, or in the chat below, the description box below this video. Click that and click the invitation link. But there's a whole section. Don't do it in the main chat, but there's a whole section called Superman Spoilers. You can have a whole conversation with other people about Superman in there, and who don't care about spoilers. Just go nuts. But outside of that, please don't.
Be cool.
Be cool with each other and with us. I don't want to be spoiled on Superman before I see the damn thing. I'm seeing it in less than 24 hours. So please be cool. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time with another episode. Thanks for being here, Tiffany.
Oh, yeah. You're so very welcome.
We'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.